Greetings to all and welcome to the contingency plan. This promises to be a relatively interesting video, so I was thinking about what shit hits the fan would really be like. Not the outdoor Chuck fantasy we may have in our heads, but what it would really and truly be like. What I realized was that it wouldn't be even mildly pleasant. Regardless of how you look at it, it's really going to suck. A lot of preppers probably secretly wish for a chance to use not only the survival skills they have accumulated over the years, but also all that crap they have been storing and vacuum sealing for so long. If shit hits the fan never happens, what are you going to do with all those buckets of rice and dry beans taking up all that real estate in your pantry and your garage? Nobody wants to eat that crap unless they have to. But just imagine life after shit hits the fan. No more going to work every day, dealing with your boss and his or her bullshit. No more dealing with traffic just to get to a job you hate. No more not being allowed to kill stupid people. No more paying bills. Many preppers would love nothing more than the opportunity to say I told you so to their friends, family, neighbors, and coworkers while pointing a gun at the ones that show up out of desperation, begging to be brought into their inner circle utopian sanctuary. Sounds inviting, doesn't it? Knowing that you were right all along might feel satisfying and give you a moral victory over the short term, but eventually that feeling of elation will fade, and we will find ourselves in a really shitty place. Things are going to suck on a level we may find difficult to imagine today. Television shows make it look difficult, but any problems are all wrapped up in about an hour and everything is good to go. The people in the shows look pretty grungy and a little bit worse for wear, but overall still clearly doable. In reality, that simply wouldn't be the case, strictly from a hygiene perspective alone. The odds of you coming across someone that looks like this after about 6 weeks is basically zero. To say people are going to be experiencing that not-so-fresh feeling is a vast understatement. Just imagine how ripe the average person is going to be after a couple months without a shower or a good undercarriage scrubbing. Ask the ladies how excited they would be to live in a world without feminine hygiene products, or any of the toiletries they have become accustomed to for that matter. At first you may get by as far as food and water are concerned. Your biggest concern will more than likely be not being killed by your fellow man. If you can somehow survive not being torn apart, skinned alive, strung up, or shot by an angry and violent mob on a daily basis, you could probably chalk that up to a victory. If you live in a rural area, this might not be too difficult at first, but eventually the really desperate hordes will reach your area. The real fun is going to be once your supplies start running low. Today, if you get hungry, you walk into the kitchen and make yourself something to eat, or jump into the car and head to a nearby fast food chain and get something in the relative shape of food, and you're all set. Imagine starving and realizing not only do you have absolutely nothing to eat, but knowing that there is nowhere you can go to get anything either. Not to mention the longer you go without food, the more difficult it will be to focus and concentrate on a plan to locate some because of the splitting headache, weakness, and confusion you are dealing with. Now consider this same exact scenario only in regards to water or medication. Then imagine watching your children dying of malnutrition or dehydration right before your eyes, and knowing that if you don't somehow pull off a miracle, they're not going to make it. That's when the fun officially begins. Your best days after shit hits the fan will be the ones that end up with you still breathing. Today, when someone asks you what your idea is of splurging and treating yourself to something nice, you may envision a white sandy beach or a remote cabin in the mountains, or maybe even something as simple as a nice steak dinner at an expensive candlelit restaurant. After shit hits the fan, pampering yourself will be more along the lines of getting to wash your ass with warm water and actual soap. A shower with running water will seem like the second greatest thing you could possibly imagine. This is only scratching the very surface of a typical post-shit-hits-the-fan day. We're not even getting into things like what life will be like every time night falls, surviving freezing cold or extreme high temperatures, oral hygiene, lack of ways to entertain yourself or your family, being shot at, the mental fatigue associated with constantly being alert to people wanting to kill you and take what little you do have, constant fear of giving away your location, or the psychological pressure of coming up with a daily survival plan. Regardless of how physically fit you are today, it's probably not going to be enough to survive any extended period of time in a post-shit-hits-the-fan world. Watching friends or family members die before your eyes is going to take its toll on you. And on top of everything else, you won't have the luxury of taking a day off. To say a lot of things will change would be an understatement. Literally nothing you take for granted today will be the same. Most of us give very little thought to food, water, personal hygiene, and sanitation on a daily basis. All of that is simply a given and not something that even crosses our minds. Some of us do have the mindset to survive, but most people are going to panic almost immediately, which will lead to fatal mistakes being made. Lack of preparation, both physically and mentally, will result in death for the majority of today's population. Those who do get over the hump will find themselves in a daily struggle for survival. Even the sound of laughter will become difficult to find. The most we can do is prepare for such a situation as best we can. Realize that no matter how thorough we are, there's still a million things we're going to miss. Work on your personal relationship with God, and hope and pray for the best outcome possible. Thank you for watching, and God bless each one of you. Peace.